Hello everyone and welcome to Season 6 of Black Ops Cold War and Warzone. And naturally, like every other season of Cold War, there's some new DLC weapons available in the Battle Pass and others available via completing in-game challenges, and this season is no exception. And when we're talking about DLC weapons, this time round we have the Battle Axe, which is naturally a melee weapon and can be unlocked via a simple challenge in Cold War multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone. And today I will specifically discuss the challenge that is available in multiplayer, and if you have the choice of unlocking this particular DLC weapon in either Warzone or Cold War, I would highly recommend doing it in Cold War. I'll get to that a little bit later in this video. So with that said, if you guys go on to enjoy this one, make sure you leave a like on it down below, as well as subscribe and turn on post notifications so that way you guys will not miss any of the latest and greatest Call of Duty news, class ups, and all kinds of things like that. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive right into it. And alright, so to start off today's video, let's actually break down the challenge for this particular weapon, and it states, get a kill with a gun, melee weapon, and a piece of lethal equipment in the same life in 15 different completed matches. Which I'd like to mention, this is the same challenge in Warzone, so now you can see why you'd want to complete this challenge in multiplayer instead of Warzone. However, with that said, let's actually talk a little bit about strategy. Now, quite frankly, this challenge isn't that difficult. Is it annoying? Yes, without a doubt, but is it impossible? Well, it's far from it. So to start off, let's break down what you'll need in Create a Class. So, breaking it down a little bit, for your primary weapon, use whatever primary weapon you're most comfortable with, just make sure it is of course a gun. At least for myself, I was actually using the Krig 6 assault rifle, which is personally one of my favorite assault rifles in Black Ops Cold War multiplayer, so that's how I was using it. But if you want to use something like the Tech 9 or the AK-74U or the M16, or heck, even a sniper rifle like the Pellington, it doesn't matter, it just needs to be a gun. Moving on down, for your secondary weapon, you'll need to use whatever melee weapon you want. It really doesn't matter which one, because of course, as the challenge states, you need to get a gun kill, which we already have covered with your primary weapon, and you also need to get a melee kill, so that's so come we are going to be using a melee weapon as our secondary weapon. At least in my own case, I was just using the standard combat knife. However, if you want to use something like the brand new side DLC weapon that was added in with the numbers event from Season 5, feel free to go ahead and do so. With that said, let's move on down and talk about our tactical, which in my circumstance, I would highly recommend using the stun grenade, as it will make it significantly easier to get melee kills. So now let's actually talk a little bit about our lethals, which I would personally recommend the Tomahawk, which I know may sound a little bit weird. However, here's my reasoning. The reason why I like the Tomahawk is because it's very simple and very straightforward. Unlike using something like a grenade or a Semtex or the C4, you never have to worry about throwing a Tomahawk and getting an annoying hit marker from a person using flak jacket, or if they're just out of range of the actual explosive damage of your lethal. And that's how come when you're using the Tomahawk, all you have to do is see an enemy, hit him with the Tomahawk, and he's dead. No matter what, it's just as simple as that. So that's how come personally I would recommend using the Tomahawk. However, if you personally feel like you'd be more effective using something like a Semtex or a C4, then by all means use that. So with that said, now let's move on down and talk about perk setup. Now when it comes to perks, it really just depends on you and how you like to play. However, there's only one main perk that I would highly recommend, and that is Gung Ho, as it will allow you to swap weapons way faster, which is extremely useful. For instance, you get one kill with your Krig 6, so that way you have your gun kill down, and then you switch over to your melee weapon, so that way you can get a melee kill. If you have Gung Ho, that process is going to be a lot faster and a lot swifter, so that's how come I would highly recommend that perk. So now that we got the class up out of the way, let's talk about how to play. Now for getting the kills and completing the challenge, the Nuke Jack playlist is a really good place to start. Now once you find your game, try getting a kill with your melee weapon first. And there's a reason for this. Remember, you need to get one kill with a gun, melee weapon, and a lethal in a single life. And while you're going for this challenge, you might think, oh, I'll get a kill with my gun, then switch to my melee weapon, which is all fine and good, but a lot of times you'll notice getting a gun kill is very easy, then getting a melee kill afterwards is pretty difficult. And there's a reason for this. Getting a melee kill is a lot more difficult than getting a gun kill, and if you already get your gun kill, you're kind of invested, and you are going to be playing a little bit more passively so that way you stay alive. So when you're trying to get a melee kill, you're not going to be as aggressive. So that's how come I would highly recommend getting the melee kill first, then switching over and getting a kill with your gun. And this is because if you're starting with your melee weapon, you have literally nothing to lose. All you have to do is run out there, play as aggressive as you possibly can until you get a melee kill, then tone it back a little bit, regroup, then switch over to your primary weapon, get a kill with that, then of course get a final kill with your lethal, which in my circumstance is the Tomahawk. Then of course you rinse and repeat that process in 15 different and completed games, and you're done, and you have access to the combat axe. Now, I do quickly want to mention something, and that is, there's actually another option to get access to the combat axe here in Black Ops Cold War and Warzone, and that's by purchasing the Berserker bundle, which is a bundle in the Black Ops Cold War and Warzone shop, and will be costing you 1000 COD points. And if you purchase this bundle, you are going to be getting immediate access to the combat axe, and you also are going to be getting a legendary Barbarian's axe blueprint, which in my opinion looks pretty cool. So if you want to get access to this particular weapon right away, you can purchase it. However, you can always complete the challenge if you want to get access to it for free. So yeah guys, with that said, that's going to effectively wrap up today's video. I hope you went on to enjoy it, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like on it down below, as well as subscribe and turn on post notifications, so that way you guys will not miss any of the latest and greatest Call of Duty news, class subs, and all kinds of things like that. So thank you once again for watching this video. I'm your host, Deeper Jungle. I hope to see you in the next one.